Good evening and welcome to the Gaming Kin podcast. As always, I'm your host Jack, and with me is Mark.
Hello.
And I want to start off by apologising for the lower quality of the podcast last time. I was a bit of an idiot and forgot to connect the board to the computer. I set up the mics, I powered it up, I played about with all the settings, and I started recording, and I didn't realise until we'd finished that the USB that was in my computer was my gamepad.
You utter nonce.
But we are definitely using the board this time. I've checked it thoroughly.
Have you checked it again?
Yeah, I did it when you came round.
Check it again.
It's there, I can see it.
Well, you didn't see it last time.
I made a point of making sure I connected it, okay? So Don't worry. So, as always, we're going to start with a discussion topic. And this one has been suggested to me by one of my buddies. And he's basically, over the last couple of years, he's become my one-stop tech support whenever I can't get my tech to work. He's a guy that I keep telling him I want him to build me a computer when I can afford it. And I can never afford it, but I think he's actually probably got one stashed away for me for when I can, so hopefully one day I'll be able to afford that.
Your level of hope is so very high.
Yes.
Good Lord.
It's alright, I sent you around to him when you had to get your browser one fixed.
Oh yeah.
So yeah.
Probably give a shout out to the shop, drum up some extra business.
Yes. Well, you've just put me on the spot there. I can't remember the name of his shop. iFix, I think it is.
Yes.
iFix. Anyway, this was suggested to us by our buddy Loy, and he wants us to talk about a startup in the US called PlayVS, or PlayVS. But first, let me explain what PlayVS is. It's a startup in the US bringing competitive gaming to high schools. It runs it's going to run esports tournaments and transforming it into a legitimate school sports, much like basketball, hockey, American football. Especially now that we've been seeing US colleges and universities start to embrace esports with esports scholarships. This is the kind of high school development of it. So generally you'll be scouted in high school and then you'll get your scholarship when you go to college or uni. So that's why this is started.
The world is so very weird right now.
It's very weird.
Good Lord. The gaming community is meant to be the weirdos, not the, yes, I received a scholarship to Juilliard because I'm awesome at Fortnite. What the fuck?
Well, that's the thing though, because you get scholarships to Yale, Columbia and all that because you're good at football or basketball. So why not? Because you're good at video games. Because it is, competitive esports is a growing industry. It's a massive industry right now. Yeah,
but it feels like getting a scholarship with darts.
I would love that.
I know you would. Why don't it's still my point? Like, it just feels very odd. Very, what the fuck's happened?
I would love it, and I would totally go for it.
Of course you would. Jesus fuck.
Anyway, the startup has secured about $15 million in funding in July from the San Francisco 49ers, an NFL team. The rapper Nas. I don't know. I listen to heavy metal, okay? I don't know anything about rap.
Okay.
Do you know how it's pronounced?
No, I just love that. Nas? Nos.
Nos.
Man.
And Kevin Lin, who is the co-founder of Twitch.
Apparently your dad has strong feelings about him.
my dad has strong feelings about something. I could hear him there. So they will be holding an off-season in October for players to find teams as well as play low-stakes matches, and the regular season starts at the end of October, where every state will be divided into 4 conferences, much like most American sports are, only in this case it's on a state level rather than a national level.
So very weird.
And that will run through to December with competition every week. Yes, I can see your face. Yes, I know I've misspelt competition.
One, that was not my point, but I love the fact you just put that out there. Good for you. No, just the state of affairs the world's getting into is very mental.
I really...
I would never have imagined it got to a point in my life where people are making lives off the back of being good in video games.
I love it. I totally love it. I think it's fantastic. But no, I genuinely thought that the reason your face was the way it was because of all those red squiggly lines underneath all the text.
To clarify, there's a fuck ton. And I didn't mention one of them. That was all you. But one thing I do love about this is the idea of, with esports and stuff getting bigger, obviously more people can pay attention to games. Just idea of maybe gaming's going to like leap forward now, leaps and bounds, and just become so much cooler.
Yeah. See, that's the thing though. Like, when I was in school, gaming was seen as a very nerdy thing.
Very long time ago, yeah.
A very long time ago. Gaming was seen as a very nerdy thing. You know, playing things like most people who played video games back then were playing things like Mario, Sonic, Final Fantasy, Crash Bandicoot, Spyro the Dragon. It was all platformers and RPGs.
One of those things are not like the others.
Yes, there was all platformers or RPGs back then. Back then you didn't have things... Well, you did have them, but they weren't as popular. Things like FIFA and Formula 1 and the Madden games. You know, like maybe, I don't know, maybe in America they were a bit more popular, but over
definitely
here...
Madden at least.
Yeah, but over here not so much. Like even the FIFA and Formula 1 games and stuff. So, gaming was seen as a very nerdy thing.
It's all little graphics nowadays, huh?
But see, if you went up to anyone between the age of 10 and 35, about 99% of them will play video games on a fairly regular basis, at least once a week.
Okay, that was heavily exaggerated. 99%, bro. Really?
Yeah.
No,
it's...
I'll give you strong odds and 70.
I'll take that deal at 90.
No, 70. Because I'm also going to bring up, you ageist fuck.
How?
35?
Yeah.
Dude, that's quite a low cut-off.
Yeah, but I mean, I'm just old, so...
Well, you're getting there.
Shut up. Stop mocking me.
Whatever you say, Grandpa with grey hair.
I don't have grey hair yet. I don't have grey hair yet.
Oh, I really hope you check everywhere tonight. You're like, oh my god, I missed a bit.
I have a lighter patch at the front of my beard, but that's because I dyed that part of my beard and it's just not gone back to its natural colour yet.
You dyed part of your beard?
Yes.
Why?
Because I was going to dye it red.
Your beard red?
Yeah.
Why?
Because I thought it would be great at the time.
Oh my god. Red beard. Arr.
Anyway.
Give me a minute.
Anyway,
Woo!
Can we get back to topic?
Okay, red beard. Okay, I'm done. Ooh. Right. Oh, man.
Delane Parnell, the CEO of PlayVS, said in an interview with CNBC, we've always had this concept. If esports is going to grow, it's going to mirror traditional sports in some way. There's going to be a lot of similarities.
Yeah.
So especially with PlayVS being based in America, it's going to mirror kind of American sports with the multiple conferences, playoffs, and things like that. Whereas if it was to be in like the UK, we'd have like a Premier League, First Division, Second Division, you know.
Just some way of kind of categorizing everyone.
Yeah, so with relegation and promotion, whereas they don't have that over there. They just have everybody plays everyone twice. You play a couple of cross-conference matches now and again, and the best teams in the division go into the playoffs. Kind of like the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
So you've got like the AFC and the NFC, and then you've got the two conferences within those. I think it's North and South and East and West. And then, so like North and South is AFC and East and West is NFC or something. I can't remember properly. So you'll have the AFC and NFC playoffs where it's the best team in like their like the two conferences for that side, and the NFC playoffs is the same for the other side, and then you've got the Super Bowl, which is the best of the AFC versus the best of the NFC. You know what I mean? I
had no idea that's how it worked. That makes so much sense.
So like the best two teams from each conference go to the playoffs, and only one team from each conference can make it into that division's playoffs. Yeah. So the two teams from like AFC 1 and AFC 2, the best team out of those two goes on. So, yeah.
Fair enough.
So it's going to kind of work like that. Playoffs begin, their playoff system begins in January, where the top teams in each conference will face off to win a spot in the state championships. And I imagine, like, for the first couple of years, I think it's only going to go as far as state. But I think as it grows and gets bigger, you might have like national championships within it. So it'll be like kind of all like the winners of all the states. They then go into like some kind of round robin, round tournament.
Okay, right.
And the winner, you know, as you progress through, the finalist is the champion of the national champion. Yeah. But there are dozens of teams and games possible. They've not limited the options for it. Yeah. So it's possible ranging from fighting games, you know, like Street Fighter and Tekken, first-person shooters like Call of Duty, CS:GO, Battle Royale games like Fortnite and PUBG, since they are breaking into the esports scene now. Yeah. Or your traditional sports games like FIFA and Madden. So we could see any of all of that. I think it sounds good. I think it sounds like a great program.
Honestly, it's just mind blowing how very different it is to like we were growing up.
Yeah, it's massively different.
But is that really going to change, for instance, like high school politics, if you know what I mean?
I don't think it will, but with gaming being more popular than it was back when we were in schools, I don't think it's going to be as much of a problem. Like, because you still get like the kind of jocks who, when they play, they just kind of play online FPS games and stuff and FIFA and all of that. And then you've got your nerds who'll play things like Dragon Quest, Dragon Age, Final Fantasy, Mass Effect, Skyrim, Fallout, Magic the Gathering, World of Warcraft, you know, your RPGs and stuff, really. So it's still quite niche. Yeah. Depending on what type of game you play. You know, you're not going to just get everyone going, I'm a gamer, and then all of them playing the exact same style of games.
Yeah, it's always going to be very divisive.
Everybody's going to have their own like genre that they prefer. So I don't think it's going to really change the because the people who are classed as gamers by outsiders are generally people that play the quote geeky games. like your RPGs
I don't
and
even think gaming...
and your MOBAs.
Alright. I don't even
like-
think like old gamer tag now is even as bad as it used to be. I think it's just more like...
It's not. It's not. It doesn't have the same connotations it used to because so many people are gamers now. Like now, when it comes to people being called gamers, it's hardcore gamer, casual gamer. That's where all the connotations come in now.
Yeah.
Because you get your filthy casuals. Quote. I see nothing wrong with casual gamers. I see nothing wrong with hardcore gamers. I'm kind of in the middle, depending on what kind of game I'm playing.
No, I'm always casual. I don't have it in me to like give that much of my life away to a game. Unless it's Bioware, yeah, I know.
I was going to say I'm like that with Square Enix all the time. Just Square Enix, take my money. New Final Fantasy, take my money.
We know. Everyone knows.
Yes.
It's not a secret.
Well, to be fair, it's not just Square Enix. Bethesda as well. I mean, Todd Howard made throwing money at the screen an acceptable form of payment now.
Yeah, one. That's just because we think he's amazing. It's not because we want to play Fallout 76. We've both said this previously. We're like, looks good? Yes. Would we play it?
Yes. I'm psyched for it.
I'm gonna pass on it.
I'm totally psyched for it. That and Anthem, I think, is looking fantastic. So really excited for that.
Well, Anthem is Bioware too.
Yeah. Casey Hudson, take my money.
That I can agree with.
But yeah, so I mean, I'd like to see something like this, kind of coming into other countries. Depending, like, I mean, I don't want to see it being a kind of worldwide initiative where it's in every single country, because some countries it's not a really important thing to be working on, because you've got countries where there's more important things to deal with.
Okay, realistically, as much as I'm a gamer, there's always something more important to be doing.
But like,
no point of gaming is it's a distraction from life. It's not life.
I would love to see initiatives like this coming into the UK, rolling out in Japan, South Korea, China, Finland.
I can almost guarantee there's like classes devoted to gaming in Japan.
Yeah, there probably is, as well as South Korea and China, because there are massive amount of competitive players there.
And as we've seen, there's always tons of cheaters as well.
Yeah, you get a lot of well, that's more China than Japan and Korea, to be fair.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, that is a thing. But like the majority of your esports players in Europe are coming from Scandinavia, so
really
Finland and Sweden mostly. Yeah,
I suppose if it's that fucking cold, then you gonna blame them.
Most of them, generally 9 times out of 10, play CS:GO as well.
Okay, I've seen this. I hate to say it. I'm just gonna admit it. What's CS:GO again?
Counter-Strike Global Offensive. It's a game that it's actually originated. Counter-Strike originated as a mod on the Half-Life, a mod of Half-Life.
Okay.
Using the Source engine.
Yeah.
And Valve loved it so much that they then created Counter-Strike Global Offensive, CS:GO, which is the most popular one. But you've also got CS Source, Counter-Strike Source, and a couple of other ones.
Okay.
But it started out life as a mod for Half-Life 2.
Huh. Interesting.
Yes. It's a fun game. I don't know if there's a story mode, but if there is a story mode, you fight the terrorists. But when you play online, it's Counter-Strike versus terrorists.
Jesus, right, okay.
Kind of like when you play Black Ops online, you've got Black Ops versus whatever the other side is. I think it's usually CDP. Which I don't know what that stands for, but that's like the bad guys, essentially.
Possibly terrorists.
More than like terrorists.
Basically, it's FPS. Generally, it's terrorists.
Yeah, but, the fact that we could have, like, with PlayVS, you could have, like, Street Fighter tournaments every week. Like, think ESL over here.
Okay.
But only it's kind of, how should I say it? It's like the ESL, the Electronic Sports League.
Yeah.
But it's based in high schools.
Ah, right, okay.
So that's basically what this guy's trying to do. And I think it's a great idea because it is getting more, like, people into, more high school kids into competitive gaming. Because, like, the window for competitive gaming isn't exactly very big.
Yeah.
Like, for some reason, like, when you see your competitive esports players, they are generally between the ages of 16 and 25.
Yeah.
You know, you don't really see many that are much older than that.
I think it's partly to do with, like, just when it started. You know what I mean?
It is partly, but at the same time, after that point, your reflexes start to slow. Don't look at me like that. I know I'm older than 25.
It's all my dumbass. I don't like guys like, yes, it's all downhill from here, Mark. We're all fucked. We're going down. We're dying.
Your reflexes aren't going to slow down that much noticeably until you're about your 50s, okay? Calm down.
It's all downhill from here.
But, you know, that's when you're kind of in your peak for competitive gaming. As esports matures, you'll probably see players last longer. But because
Players last longer. Fuck you.
But because of the intensity of it as well, like, because you're living with most esports players, particularly in like Korea and Japan, they are living with their team. They spend all day practicing.
Seriously?
Yeah.
See, that's what would ruin it for me. Gaming, like I said, it's an escape, it's a pastime. But when you make it into not even a hobby anymore, like it's like work, how can it still be fun? I don't get it.
Well, that's the thing though. Like, that's why there aren't many esports players who do it for a long time. And if they do play competitive for a long time, they don't play the one game the whole career.
Yeah.
Because you've seen it with StarCraft. Like StarCraft, you had Brood War.
Okay.
And that was a big esport, very competitive over in South Korea. And then when StarCraft 2 came out, you had a lot of people saying, I'm not going to keep playing Brood War. I'm going to jump to StarCraft 2. Because they were starting, like, you're living with the team, you're playing that game all day, every day. You're practicing, you're learning new tactics, learning other people's play styles so you can adapt yours to counteract that. And they were just getting burnt out.
Not surprised. Fuck's
so
sake.
A lot of them switched game. You will find that they'll just go, no, I'm not playing this anymore, I'm going to switch. Or there'll be like the F1 esport, where that's only about a half year. So for 6 months of the year, they're playing competitive Formula 1. And then for the other half of the year, they'll practice every now and again, but while it's the off season, they'll play whatever games they want to play, rather than just playing F1 all day every day.
Yeah, Jesus.
So you do have that, depending on what it is and how the seasons go. If it's something that has a season and an off season, you'll have them playing, you know, what games they want to play in the meantime. Generally, most of them will play, like with the F1 esports players, most of them, when they're on their off season, play other racing games.
Just keep the reflexes up.
No, not even that. Most of them just really enjoy racing games. That's all. So yeah, but I would love to see that kind of roll out over the world, in various countries, especially ones where esports is growing and kind of has the momentum at the moment.
Yeah.
So, you know, Russia, UK, Scandinavia, China, Japan, South Korea. Those are the main ones I can think of. But there are other countries out there as well which have esports teams. Most of the other ones are in Europe, to be fair. Canada as well. But I think this PlayVS is going to be Canada as well. I think it's North America rather than just the US.
Okay, right.
I haven't seen any confirmation of that because everything does just say USA in the US. But I think it is maybe going to roll out in Canada as well.
Mental.
It makes sense but I don't know for sure.
So how does this work with terms of going into pro gaming?
Well, getting into pro gaming is pretty easy. You just register for tournaments and go to them.
Yeah,
that's basically being a pro player, but with depending on the game. Like if it's like Smash Bros, Street Fighter, Formula 1, FIFA, you just play the tournaments and that's how you do it. With things like Overwatch, League of Legends, like if you want to do the pro League of Legends stuff, that you kind of see on like the esports news articles online and that are sometimes live streamed by League of Legends, like by Riot Games. It is more of a case of that you have to join a team, you have to be a proven player by playing really, really well.
So would like this kind of idea help you with PlayVS?
It would, yes, I imagine it would, because it does give you experience playing competitively rather than I say playing competitively because most of us play competitively most of the time in certain games like Call of Duty, Fortnite, PUBG, even against the AI on like Formula 1 or Street Fighter or something, right? But it gives you more experience playing in a competition scenario, in a competition atmosphere, rather than playing competitively just versus match online or in a standard battle royale match, where it gives you competition experience in tournaments and events where there are prizes up for grabs.
Ah, okay, right.
So it does help those who would want to become a pro player. Although it could also be detrimental for someone who wants to become one because they could go in with all the confidence in the world, get their backside handed to them, and then lose all the confidence and not be able to bounce back. But that's not a problem. That's not a problem for PlayVS in the way of how it works. That's just the way it goes for some people.
Yeah.
Sometimes you just get such a bad beating at something competitive and you just can't bounce back from it. That's just human nature rather than an issue with the program itself.
Yeah, okay, yeah.
I think it's a really good program for people who would want to get into it. However, it is only available to high school students.
Ah, okay.
So for like me and you, we couldn't just go over to the States and then enroll and play Versus unless we were high school age.
Which we're not, sadly.
Right.
Aside, do you hear about that one story about this guy whose basically life was going to shit? So what he done was, I think he was involved in a natural disaster, right? They lost those papers. So he managed to get himself enrolled in a high school. He was like 25, but he managed to get himself enrolled in high school. Succeed epically in basketball, right? Bear in mind, this is because he's fucking older. And he's eventually caught because when he got to one of the championships, his old coach saw him.
I never heard about that one.
You're just like, the fuck.
However,
it's true. You can't go back to high school. It's depressing.
What I did hear though, pro esports wise, was I actually think I might have covered it on the podcast one time. Was a dad in Sweden, or Finland. I'm pretty sure it was Sweden. Pulled their son out of high school at age 14.
Good lord, right?
And funded his road to being a pro Fortnite player.
Fuck's sake.
And then he decided he wants to be a pro CSGO player and was actually even better at that. So he became a pro CSGO player.
Right, so what's your opinion on that idea of young players getting into this kind of thing?
I think young players getting into it is a great thing.
Really?
However, I don't feel that pulling them out of school is the way to go about it.
Thank God. I don't get the logic in it. Why would you give up your education just to be good at a game?
Exactly. That's my thinking. But at the same time, if that's what they want to do, then I personally am not going to turn around and like say anything bad about it, because having that kind of ambition is respect worthy. The fact that they're doing it is, to me, a bit backwards, though. You know what I mean?
That entire statement doesn't make sense. You're cool with it, but you're not cool with it. If we want to do it, it's fine, but you think it's stupid.
Yeah. Pretty much.
It's basically you don't call them on it, but you're like, yeah, okay.
I don't. If the kid wanted to drop out of school to become
14.
a pro player,
At 14.
then, that's, if they can do it, then that's fantastic. But it's a risk. But if it was the dad's decision, then that's totally wrong. They should be supporting an education rather than doing that.
It's mental either way.
Anyway, I think younger players being in esports is good for the industry.
Mm-hmm.
However, I think doing it through something like PlayVS rather than not being in school is the way to go for the younger players. I would also like to see more older players come into esports as well. You do have a team of pensioners who do esports though, which is fantastic.
Legitimately, that'd be a dream for me. Literally be like 70, be pokey flat, but I spend all my pension this pure badass gaming setup, and I'm like, yes, this is amazing. I can die happy. Well, I sit and play.
I love your old man Scottish accent there.
I can die happy, and yeah, I'd be like sitting playing Final Fantasy fucking like 40 by that point.
Yep.
And literally characters literally jump out the screen at you, and you're like, this is gaming. Sound.
I will tell you. See, when I'm at that age, do you know what I'll be playing?
I have no fucking clue.
Final Fantasy 4 on an NES.
Fuck's sake.
That's gaming.
Right, so I'll have a nice up-to-date thing. You'll literally mine the gaming archaeology section and find this fossilized old system and go, that's my past right there. I need it back.
Well, after all, you do call me the gaming historian.
Yeah, well, it's not like... Oh, my God.
I've got to live up to it somehow, don't I?
Yes, because all historians, when they go home, they sit and play with a pile of bones.
Yeah, totally.
Oh,
obviously.
God. Well, to be fair, some like teachers we had probably did.
Yeah, I can think of one in particular.
Yeah, I just don't name names, but was it Mr...
I think so, aye.
Oh, good, well, yeah.
Aye.
Yeah.
Aye, the man at the top?
Yeah.
Aye.
Yeah.
Aye, that's the one.
Yeah.
He didn't like me.
He didn't like anyone.
Yeah, true.
I think he hated students.
Yeah, I do believe that was probably the case. Anyway.
Yeah.
Shall we do some news? Or do we have more to say on the subject? I'm undecided, because I think we've just kind of gone in a circle for the past 5 minutes.
Yeah, the only other thing to talk about is like the whole idea of buying like coaches for games and shit, but it's a bit of a weird topic.
That has been in the news recently.
Okay, so save it.
No. It's a good thing to cover now, because we are talking about esports anyway.
Yeah, okay. Just the whole point of you said you get some people who like want to drop out of school, but they try a tournament, get their ass handed to them, and then shit. I just think it's really mental how people can actually get paid to tutor kids now. Yeah,
I mean, it's not just kids. Like, there are people out there who are, like, you'll find them on some of the, I think the site's called Fiverr.
All right.
And it's basically you can do anything for a fiver. I think that was the original idea of it, right? I think that was the original idea, but I think now they actually have price brackets now. But you've got people on there who'll teach you how to play video games. They'll teach you how to play card games like Magic the Gathering, tabletop games like the original Cyberpunk.
The original Cyberpunk?
Yeah.
Oh.
It was originally a tabletop game.
Huh.
Like D&D.
Oh. I did not know that.
Yeah. So they'll teach you to play all those kinds of things. It's really, really cool. And it's regardless of what age you are, they'll teach anyone. They might not teach them how to be pro players, but definitely how to be a better player.
I mean, I just meant...
Or they'll try to teach people how to be a better player. They can't guarantee any results. But, they will help you get a better grasp of the fundamentals and strategy and all that kind of thing.
I mean, I've seen this, one article mentioned a site called a Bidvine, I believe it was. And basically, in order to prove you're worthy, you have to, like, for Fortnite, for instance, you have to come first matches 25 times just to prove you're that good of a player.
Yeah, to become a tutor.
Yeah. And it's like, right, 1, damn, and 2...
Well, see, like... for anyone who did hear that, I don't know if that's getting picked up by the mic. My little brother and sister are visiting just now, and they are a fair bit younger, and they're hyper.
Do you remember the days when we were hyper instead of just tired?
Yes, I remember those days.
It feels like very long ago.
Not very fondly.
Lies.
I was outside too often.
Wow, I can literally see grey hairs popping out all over. I was outside too often. I was outside once. I didn't enjoy it.
I was too far away from my PlayStation.
Fuck's sake. Anyway, back to it.
But like the thing with that is, I don't know if it's. I can't remember the exact details of it, but yeah, well, you did have to come first in solos 25 times. I don't know if it was like within a certain time period, like a month, or if it was a lifetime, or
I think it'd probably have to be fairly concurrent
during the course of a season.
I think it'd probably a season to just prove your.
I can't remember actually off the top of my head, but I know that it's. I don't think it was like just come first 25 times, and that's it. You know, it's. I'm pretty sure there was within a space of time.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure it was a season, which is about 10 weeks. Or 11 weeks, I can't remember. But I'm pretty sure it was like within a season. Which most people can do, because most people who are playing Fortnite to the level where they would be able to do that, they're usually winning at least one solos match a day. So if you're doing this over...
that sounds like so much. So how many games can you play in a day, do you reckon?
It depends on how long you last in the game, really. Realistically, say if you played all day, the whole full 24 hours, and you got knocked out, say 5 minutes in.
Right.
That would be not including like menu time and stuff, right? That would be 12 games an hour.
Seriously?
Yeah, a 5 minute game.
Fucking hell, okay.
Right. That's 12 an hour. Then that would be 12. $146 in 12 hours. So 292 in 24 hours if all of them lasted 5 minutes. That's not including time spent in menus. Assuming they were 5 minute games.
And they're androids that don't need to go and eat, go to the toilet, move,
yeah, well,
do anything.
I'm removing all variables here.
Good lord, that isn't... Oh, Jesus.
I'm removing the variables of food, toilets, drinks, menu time.
So basically you want to be data.
So, like, because there are so many variables, are you in a game which spends about 10 minutes in the pre-match lobby? Are you jumping into a game that spawns the minute you get in? Are you are you the first dead 2 seconds into the game? Do you stick the landing? Do you not stick the landing? Do you make it all the way to the end of the game, which can be upwards of 10-15 minutes? You know? So there are a lot of variables there, as well as, you know, human biology of going to the toilet and eating, and answering the door.
That's just horrific.
When, because you stay in all day, you've ordered your food from Asda to get delivered. I don't know why I picked Asda in particular there.
I thought you were going for takeout and then you went Asda. I'm like, what?
Yeah. Why not? Home shopping? Like, I'm talking about full shopping. So,
okay, that makes more sense.
So, you know, like Monster
Yeah.
and potatoes. Why potatoes? Do you want to know why potatoes, right? I was at Braehead today, and I walked by a restaurant called Spud You Like, which sells baked potatoes. Like it's like mostly baked potatoes, and all the mental kinds of fillings. And I've been craving a baked tatty all day.
Why didn't you get one?
'Cause I didn't have the time to make one. Okay.
You don't make them? Neither do.
Oh no, because I'd already been to Costa and had a Emmental and ham croissant.
Just because no one can see that. He looks so smarmy. Is it croissant?
Croissant. Yeah, no, because I'd been to Costa and got food already. I didn't notice it because we went downstairs, got a Costa, then we went upstairs to go to some shops.
Yeah.
But we had to take the lift because my sister was there with the pram.
Ah, right.
And then we walked by and I was like, I want to go there for food now, but I've just eaten. But see, to be fair, when we got to Costa, I was sitting staring at Yo Sushi all day. I don't like sushi, right? But Yo Sushi also sells ramen and katsu.
Wait, katsu? What?
Curry.
Oh, Jesus.
And I also like udon and stuff. So and soba noodles and all that. So, you know, I was thinking the non-sushi stuff that you can get from Yo Sushi. And yeah, so I've been I was like hungry all day because I'd seen Yo Sushi, then Spud You Like.
It's basically you're a greedy fuck.
No.
Oh, the look of offence on your face.
I would agree with you if after having my croissant at
my croissant
at Costa, I then went to Yo Sushi and then Spud You Like. If I'd went to both of them after my Costa, then yes, I would be a greedy bastard, but I didn't.
Was it a good croissant?
Nothing wrong with a good croissant.
You changed it now. Croissant.
Shut up.
Right. Back to it.
But yeah, having tutors would be a great thing to have in PlayVS for them. Just not particularly to make them play better, but to help them with things like strategy rather than gameplay.
Well, that's the thing, right? If you think of, say, I don't know how much happens over here because I never got one. But like in Marc, you always hear about people like tutoring our students as well, right? Yeah. So same kind of idea. Like from what I read, tutors can make around 30 to 40 quid per lesson. Yeah,
you can do that here as well. Yeah.
I mean, so like obviously, if over here you pay for people to get lessons in guitar and stuff, right?
Yep.
Which is obviously a hobby. Then I suppose it makes sense that you can do the same with games as well.
Yeah. Well, for some people, it's a hobby.
Oh yeah, obviously.
Because if you join a band or an orchestra or something,
it's kind of necessary. You need to know how to play the instrument.
It's no longer a hobby. That's a job.
Well,
if it's your main source of income, it's a job.
Wow, you changed it now.
What?
You can be in a high school band and not make money from it.
Yeah, being in a high school band's not your main source of income, is it?
Yeah, that's why I said you changed it. Keep up, croissant boy.
I'm confused.
Good. Right, yeah, that's basically all I really want to say.
Yeah.
Like, I was sure it was going to have a pure negative view on Fortnite lessons, but after reading some articles, it kind of makes sense. Like, you can literally get lessons in anything.
Yeah, but it's not even that. Like, I think having lessons in Fortnite, not just Fortnite, but any game is a good idea because depending on what the lessons are on, if people say I can make you play better, and then they don't explain how, it's probably too good to be true.
Yeah.
However, if they explain that they're going to teach you about strategy and the gameplay mechanics with the hope of making you play better, rather than saying they will,
Yeah.
then it's probably on the level. You know?
Yeah, and that does make sense, yeah. I mean, if you can't prove how you're going to do something, then why the fuck are you going to spend money on it?
Exactly. Anyway, to the news.
To the news.
First up is Mattel has announced that Mario Kart will be its next branded line of die-cast collectible cars.
Right, so is that going to be like current Mario Kart or like a traditional Mario Kart, if you get me? They're going to bring out new racers every gen?
No, well, it's going to be some of the racers from Mario Kart 8.
Ah, okay, right.
You're going to have Rosalina, Wario, Yoshi, Toad, Luigi, Peach, Bowser, and Mario.
It's essentially mainline Mario characters as opposed to additional folk.
Now, you're not going to have like Link or Zelda or Dry Bones or Bowser Jr. or anything like that. It's just some of the... I mean, we don't know if they'll release more.
I suppose it depends, like, obviously the popularity of it. And if they sell out within like a week, they'll be like, well, may as well.
Well, anyone headed to San Diego Comic-Con or did go to San Diego Comic-Con, I can't remember when San Diego Comic-Con is, but they can check them out when at a booth there, or could check them out at a booth there. But there'll be play sets as well as just the cars, and that's all launching June 2019.
Just clarify, when you say play sets, you mean like what? Model
like
tracks?
the slot tracks that you would run them along.
Oh, right. Oh, cool.
And they have like turns and loop-the-loops and jumps and all that. You get that as well.
That's pretty rad, actually.
Just like old school Hot Wheels stuff.
Well, like with Mario Kart.
Yeah.
Rad.
Because I remember, I can't remember when they did it, but I remember they also did Transformers ones for a while.
How does that work?
They didn't transform.
Yes. I was like, this is Transformers. No, that's a fire truck. No, it's Optimus, but no, it's a fire truck.
Well, I say they didn't transform. I don't remember if they transformed or not.
I don't think it'd work if it transformed.
Well, I remember Hot Wheels ones did transform.
Oh.
But they were a bit bigger, so they didn't fit in the standard slots.
What's the point then? Fucking hell.
But yeah. Epic have addressed cheating allegations in Fortnite against one of their summer skirmish winners.
Damn.
I cannot speak today.
It's a croissant.
So they've responded to allegations from fans and players that a recent winner has cheated to win a total of $130,000.
And that is a lot of green. Good lord. How do you cheat again?
By using a mouse and keyboard while playing on PS4.
What?
Which isn't cheating.
What?
Because you can do that.
Yeah,
you can set up the PlayStation to use a mouse and keyboard configuration. I use mouse and keyboard and controller when I'm playing Final Fantasy XIV. I can use the option of playing with a controller or a mouse and keyboard on Fortnite. It's not cheating because it is an option in the game already. If you'd modded the game to allow that setup, that would be cheating.
I can see where it'll come from. Like, if you get everyone else using a standard PlayStation 4 setup, then you get this one dude who's like, 2 seconds while I whip out my keyboard and mouse. You're like, what the fuck?
There were also people saying that the player was eye drops bodies. They were saying there was collusion and corruption in his win, saying that people queued up at the same time as him to give him free kills so he can place higher in the tournament. But Epic have investigated it. They've cleared him of any cheating. Said the allegations are not true, and they gave this statement. Here we go. I'm not working today, man.
I'm not gonna lie. I'm looking at the guy's how he spelled his name, and it's just offensive.
I drops bodies.
It's like, just to clarify, it's a mixture of lowercase and capitals, like high school emo days.
Yes.
It's shockingly offensive to me. I want it to go away. Oh my god. It's like fucking MSN like names back then. Fucking hell.
Anyway, Epic said it discovered the following things during its internal investigation. Our internal summer skirmish analytics kept track of all opponents which participants eliminated. I drops bodies.
See, it's offending you now.
Had 129 eliminations during the event, and every single elimination was on a different opponent. This is not indicative of him having been intentionally fed eliminations and or collusion with other players.
Can you not have multiple accounts though?
Yes, but he can't play on multiple
No, I
accounts
mean,
at
if he's
once.
got like, if people are helping him out, right? Say one person's got a ton of accounts.
Yeah, but that would involve like having to sign out and sign in, and it's too much hassle.
But is it likely?
It's possible.
Thank you.
However, I don't see that being the case.
Mm.
It's more hassle than it's worth, so I don't see it being the case.
But how many like bodies are there in a one match? Because that seems like a hell of a lot of eliminations.
100,
So I was like 129.
because it's multiple games.
Get you, okay. I thought it was just one game. I was like, that isn't tracking for me.
Our analytics events also noted when players left the match prior to the bus deploying and recorded those matches, iDrop's bodies did not join more than the 10 specified matches for the specified 10 matches for the event. I cannot read today. The narrative that he was leaving if the server wasn't full or on the bus wasn't on a favourable path is false. Stat tracking sites are unreliable for recording historic performance, as they only update when the website requests stats from a user from the API. This makes most eliminations in the single match records on account unlikely to be correct, as multiple matches in a time period are combined into one update. iDrop's Bodies has achieved more than 20 eliminations in a match across multiple times across his Fortnite career. In previous Showdown LTMs, which followed a similar scoring format on public servers, there has been no discernible difference in the final score between top performers on PC and console platforms. During this event, we saw 11 matches break the 20 elimination mark, with 8 of them on PC and 3 on console. There is no evidence to suggest to us that iDrop's Bodies played the competition using a mouse and keyboard. Furthermore, we do not restrict input device for players on our platforms as an effort to promote accessibility for our entire audience. So there's not really much of a you can realistically play quicker with a mouse and keyboard.
I mean, judging from that, it does seem like PC has an advantage. 8 of them on PC and 3 in console.
But at the same time, while yes, there's no real difference though, because reaction times are about the same.
Yeah, but
It's just down to luck of the players though.
nah, I'd still argue if you're going to play in PC and then you use the PC configuration, if you're
Also,
playing console, controller.
More of your top players, quotation marks, like Ninja,
Mm-hmm.
CDN Third, and the guys that have done the Pro-Am and stuff.
Basically, folk making ridiculous money from this.
Most of them are PC players. Like more your higher level players are PC players in general.
Well, if you're going to be a pro gamer, then generally the best thing to do is get a pro setup, and that is the best PCs in that.
But
As much as I'm a console player, it's because I don't want to spend the money on that kind of setup.
I'm not making noise. I'm not moving things. No, I think if you use a controller, you've got just as much of a chance of breaking the 20 elimination mark as you do with a controller, mouse and keyboard. It just depends on how focused you are on the game, how good your luck is within the game, because don't forget drops, and it's about where you drop in relation to other players, and you don't know where they're going to drop because they're not on your minimap. Like, you'll see them in game, but you won't see them on your minimap, so you don't know exactly where they're going to drop. Also, you don't know what is going to what you're going to get from chests. It's all RNG.
Oh, okay.
So, it depends on all of those factors, because you could drop somewhere, get, a yellow minigun, yellow being like legendary,
Okay,
like
right.
gold, yellow, orange kind of color.
Which is nice because they always seem to change it nowadays.
And in the next game, you can drop in the same place and get, a grey assault rifle. Grey being common in the lowest level.
Yeah, at least sticks.
You can get anything in any chest, so it is all random.
Yeah.
So you've got to take that into account as well. It's not just your input or your console versus PC. It's RNG, where players drop the route of the bus. Because some buses, they are really close to one edge of the map. Some go right through the middle, some go in a diagonal, some go straight up and down.
Okay.
Some only cut a wee bit of the map. It's because it's so random, there's no guarantees of where you're going to be able to get to when you drop, where the storm's going to come from. So it is very random, and what your setup and all that doesn't really affect it. It's because the amount of RNG within the game. Anyway, the statement ended with Epic's representative reminding fans and players that unsportsmanlike conduct from participants is not within that spirit and will not be tolerated within Fortnite competitions. So yeah, it's something that's happened. Some people are kind of... I don't see any cheating there.
I'd still say if you're going to play in console and play console gear kind of thing.
Well, that's the thing though. Like, I don't see it that way.
Well, we're allowed differing opinions. It's fine.
Because I don't know. It's like, it depends on what game you're playing. Like, because if you're playing an MMO, it is easier to play an MMO with a mouse and keyboard.
Well, especially if you are going to talk to folk as well.
But I mean, if it gives you the option to play with a mouse and keyboard, if the game gives you the option, then I don't see why you wouldn't, if it's going to be more comfortable for you. If you're going to find it easier personally, like, because I've tried Fortnite with a mouse and keyboard and I hate it. I've tried with the controller and I prefer it. I'm not much better, but I'm more comfortable, so I do generally feel like I play better that way. So I think that's really the way it should be.
I get what you mean. Again, I think it's just really because it is like a money event kind of thing. If you're going to win from it, then people are always going to be like, well, hold up, is this fair?
Yeah, and I think it is totally fair, because the Summer Skirmish is, if you play it on PS4, you're playing that LTM with people who are on PC and iOS.
So no matter what,
if you're playing it on PC, you can be playing it with someone who's on Switch, Xbox One, iOS, PC, PS4. You could be playing it with someone on any platform. So,
I do get what I mean. Just don't know, bit of an iffy topic.
So, like, banning one control scheme.
I won't say banning it. I'm just saying, like,
from like saying, like, if you're playing on PS4, you should be using the PS4 console when you're playing against people who are using mobile screens, like the screens of a mobile phone and mouse and keyboard and controllers. It doesn't make sense to me. You should be using whatever control scheme you feel most comfortable with, rather than what the standard is for that system.
Yeah, okay, I do get what you're saying.
If it was like a PS4 only contest,
then it'd be a bit more.
Then I would see the idea of saying you have to use the PS4 controller.
Yeah, but because it is so open...
Yeah.
Yeah, I can't really do much about it.
But yeah, no, I don't see what people are moaning at.
Mm.
It's just the luck of the draw, really. I think. Anyway, continuing on.
Yep.
Some Switch news.
Switch news.
I love how you got so excited about Switch news there.
Oh god, no, I just like being loud. It's fun.
We've got 3 new amiibos coming for the Switch, and they are all Splatoon 2. You've got Octoling Girl, Octoling Boy, and an octopus.
Such great names. Like, my god. So descriptive.
Well, yeah, that's what...
You're a girl, you're a boy. You're an octopus, and you're hungry.
Yes, I am.
Croissants to fuck all.
That's all I've eaten today.
You should... That's why you get a potato. Dumbass. Get
Nah,
the potato.
I'll get some takeout later, I think.
Best not leave it till it. But yeah. Next time, get a potato.
The figurines were shown at E3 this year alongside Splatoon 2 Octo Expansion.
Which does look good, admittedly.
Yep. And the amiibos, they'll be going for about £30.
Ouch.
But that's 3 of them, so.
Still.
But they normally sell about £20 each. So you're getting 3 of them for 30. It's not bad.
This is why I don't get a Switch. 20 quid for a wee toy. No.
Yeah, but it gives you so much. They give you extra things within games. So,
No.
like if you use the Breath of the Wild link.
Oh, I've seen that.
In Skyrim on the
seen
Switch.
That looks pretty cool.
You get the Champion's Rope and all that, and the Master Sword and the Shield.
Yeah. So how does that work though? Like, is that like properly good statted, or is it like just you
Don't
kind of
know.
level it out of it?
Don't know.
Because I'd really hate it if it looks epic, know what I mean? And then you out-level it within like an hour and you're like, fuck sake. Like, it looks amazing, but I'm going to get killed. It's a bit of a toss-up.
Yeah, I don't know. What?
Fucking drink your monster, dumbass.
No, I'm fine.
Yawning. Good lord.
Yes, yawning. It doesn't necessarily mean you're tired, it just means there's not enough oxygen in your body, so it's a way to get extra oxygen.
I said your brain, dumbass. That's why I'm yawning you. Also, when you yawn.
That was a mirror reaction. Anyway, that hits shelves December 7th.
Just in time for Christmas.
Yes, just in time for Christmas.
Yeah, it's not even been Halloween yet, so let's all beast.
Nintendo are suing to shut down 2 big ROM sites. Obviously, ROMs are
Yes, obviously.
illegal.
But by all means, explain.
Well, ROMs are, for those who don't know,
Thank you. Those who don't know,
I didn't.
This is a ROM site.
I didn't mean to sound patronising there.
It says smiling.
For anyone who doesn't know, a ROM is the actual program for a game in the cartridges.
Mm-hmm.
So you've got your emulators and your ROMs. Your
Right.
emulators are things like what's it called? VBA,
Okay.
Visual Boy Advance, which emulates the Game Boy, Game Boy Color, Game Boy Advance.
Okay.
Or you've got No Cache, which emulates the DS.
Huh.
And your ROMs are the games.
Okay.
So Pokemon, Super Mario, Fire Emblem, Kid Icarus,
Yeah.
Professor Layton, Dr. Kawashima's Brain Training, CSI, whatever games are on it.
CSI.
CSI.
Wow, you dug that one up, didn't you?
I dug deep. But yeah, regardless of what game it is, if it's compatible, you also get like PlayStation,
Mm-hmm.
Xbox, Sega, Atari, MAME. MAME is arcade stuff, so like your arcade
cool.
cabs.
Right.
You can emulate them with a MAME emulator, which is really cool.
Sounds different.
Now, these are technically illegal.
Technically.
Like a good example of explaining this is using EPSXE, which is your most common PS1 emulator. Now, you cannot run EPSXE without the BIOS file.
Okay.
You're not allowed to have a copy of the BIOS file on your computer unless you own the console. It's the same way with like music. You're not allowed to own a pirated copy unless you actually own the copy.
Okay.
Like, you know how like if you download a CD from iTunes and you burn it to disk,
Yeah.
so you can play it in the car or something.
Yeah.
It's kind of like that.
Okay.
You're not allowed to own a non-official copy unless you already own the official copy.
Right.
So with a ROM, like I've got Pokemon Red.
Oh, okay. I thought you were gonna put yourself in it. I was like, oh,
I have
things.
a ROM of Pokemon Red on my computer.
Right. Because you have Red already.
But because I already own Red,
it
is technically legal.
Because you've already at least bought the copy.
Yeah.
Okay.
Owning them, it depends on what part of the world you're in, depends on whether it's legal or illegal, and depending on what you do with it, depends on whether it's legal or illegal. I've got it, and I play it on the computer.
Yeah.
And that's it. I don't redistribute it. I don't sell it. I don't...
Play it in public. I think that was one as well. Play in public. Like
you're allowed to play it in public. You're allowed to play it on... like you're allowed to live stream it and record your gameplay and stuff. But what it is, you're not allowed to do public performance.
That was
where you would, like... Say I had a massive Jumbotron.
Yeah.
Set up in a park.
As you do.
As you do. I would not be allowed to play it like that. I would not be able to play it live like that, where people can watch. However, I could play it on like YouTube.
Right.
So it's kind of a weird thing there because of streaming being a thing now, when back then it wasn't really such a...
I'd kind of love to be that much rich of an asshole. They'll literally get their Jumbotron, set up in a public park, and just get a couch and just like sit and play like Pokemon for hours, and everyone's like, "What are you doing?" I'm like, "I'm rich." Plays games more. Fuck no.
But no, it's a very weird thing, because I don't know how. If you distribute it, it is highly illegal because you're affecting the profits of the company. But at the same time, like, you know, the ROM sites, they generally don't have modern games.
It's all the older ones are out.
It's generally like your older games.
I mean, can you even get
PS1, your GBA and stuff like that.
I mean, because obviously they don't make, for instance, like they don't make Pokemon Red anymore. No. So any copy you get nowadays will be pre-owned or from a site, yes.
Yeah. So it is really difficult because people who are trying to get it, they might not have, you know, they might not want a pre-owned version of it. So they might have to, like, because I know you can get cartridges from China.
Okay. And
they have the ROM built into the cartridge, and it's not an official Nintendo ROM.
Oh, okay.
Nintendo cartridge even. So they are making them new like that so players can be nostalgic. But then again, that's technically the same as redistributing the ROM because they're making profit off of a Nintendo game without giving the money to Nintendo.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's a very complicated thing. Some places are more strict about it than others. So,
well, to be fair, it is understandable.
Yeah.
But if you make something and people make money off of it, giving you anything, you're like, well, that's gonna shit.
But the problem is the sites that pass them on are illegal because they are redistributing the ROMs. But without those, we wouldn't be able to get the ROMs that we would want to play.
So it's
because I would like to play a lot more of my GBA collection, but I'd rather play it on my PC. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I wouldn't be able to get them if all the sites were shut down. But because they're redistributing them, it's illegal.
So are these like
it's a catch-22 right there.
Like, are these sites you like pay, or is it just you download or what?
Some of them they'll put up like those surveys that you can never complete.
Okay.
Like it goes, please do this survey. We will be notified when you've finished it, and then you sit there for 900 million years, and it's still just waiting. Yeah, Yeah, you get some sites like that.
All right. Okay.
It's so that you just give them all your information, and they don't do anything. Like they just try to steal your personal information using it.
Oh, that's horrifying.
Yeah, you can generally tell when those sites are like that or whether or not. It depends on what they're giving you.
Mm.
Like, see if it's one that's like Bitcoin generators.
Oh Jesus! Of course you know about that.
Those ones, they're always a fish and scam.
Mm-hmm.
Some of the Nintendo ROM ones, like the ROM sites that do it, some of them are legit, some of them aren't. You can never really tell. But no, the one that I use when I'm getting ROMs to play on PC, that's just you click it, download it, and go. That's you. I think it does limit how many you can download at a time.
Yeah,
and it is all free.
So like,
I think you can download like 3 simultaneously, and then if you've downloaded 3, I think you've got to wait an hour before you can download more. I can't remember, but I know there was a limit to how many you could do at once. It does have a subscription service.
Okay.
But all that does is give you, it's a one-off payment.
Mm-hmm.
I can give a tenner.
Okay.
And that gives you an ad-free screen, like the website is ad-free, and you can download as many as you like simultaneously, and it has ROMs for the Nintendo systems up to the GameCube.
All right.
PS1, PS2, original Xbox, MAME, the Sega ones, the Dreamcast, like up to the Dreamcast, Atari, Neo Geo.
So basically, your childhood.
Basically, anything retro. Basically, anything up to about the PS2 Dreamcast kind of time. Anything up to there it has, really. As well as some NDS ROMs.
All right, not bad.
Like
the
Nintendo DS. So it gives you all of that. But again, it's an illegal site because they are redistributing something that's not their own. But because like the hardware isn't like there anymore, like it's really hard to find new Game Boys. So people who want to play, like if they do get the cartridges, if their Game Boys are gubbed, they either have to buy a pre-owned one or buy like one of the knockoff consoles.
All right.
To be able to play them, or unless it's an actual GBA cartridge, which will work in a original DS. So yeah. But yeah, the two sites are Love Retro and Love ROMs. Love Retro has been taken offline, and Love ROMs has taken all of its Nintendo files out of its directory. So
It's still going though.
It's still going.
Oh, that's chancing that is. Jesus.
And according to Nintendo's complaint, both of those sites are operated by the same person. So yeah, it's the lawsuit requests damages which could reach into the $100 million range if all the titles are counted.
That's insane.
More likely though, it's just meant to close down the sites rather than recover any damages.
Oh, okay, right. And
they have asked for an injunction handing it control over those domain names so that it can't be reopened later.
Smart thing to do, admittedly.
Yeah. Yeah. It's smart on Nintendo's part if they cause they have recently brought out the NES and SNES minis.
Ah, okay, right, yeah.
Because there's NES and SNES ROMs there, and if they're going to do like maybe an N64 or GameCube mini in the future, or a GBA version,
that'd be kind of cool.
Which wouldn't be the mini; it would be a standard sized one, but it would become preloaded with some of the classic games like Pokemon Red and Blue.
That would be decent to play again, actually.
Try to think of other ones that were that were commonly played back then.
Christ knows, man.
Oh.
I mainly played Pokemon back on.
Yeah, pretty much. Tetris. Who doesn't love Tetris? It was one of the best selling games on the Game Boy. Actually, it was the best selling game on the Game Boy because it was packaged with most of the Game Boys.
Yeah, that's cheating then, isn't it?
Yes, but still,
No,
Tetris.
not still. It's cheating.
Tetris.
Cheating.
So yeah, if they are going to be bringing that out, it's definitely a smart move for them.
Mhm.
So we'll see where things go from there. Don't know what's going to happen, but who knows?
Who knows?
The VAC ban hammer's been coming down though. This is Valve's anti-cheat system, the VAC banning system.
Something tells me it's working.
Yes, it bagged its biggest haul ever. Over almost 100,000 banned in a single week.
That is insane.
That's a figure that comes from SteamDB.info, which noted a huge spike in bans last week or the week before. More than 61,000 on Thursday, which was preceded by 28,000 on the Wednesday. The VAC service began in 2002, beginning with Counter-Strike. More than 300 games were supported, most including all of Valve's major titles, CSGO, TF2, things like that. Valve has a zero tolerance policy, so once you get VAC banned, that's you kind of done, because there's no appeal system.
Okay, right.
So it's worth noting that this ban wave came a week after players revolted against Splatoon 2's lack of anti-cheat protection, with one hijacking the game leaderboards to send a message to Nintendo to bring in protection. That player has been permanently banned from multiplayer participation.
That doesn't even make sense. If he's trying to do them a favour by saying, look, this is way too open, you're going to get screwed over.
Yeah.
Why would you then ban him? I get obviously he hacked in the first place, but it's like white knight hacking, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I don't know, but it's just mental though. Like, I don't know if it's like there are actually that many people cheating in games where you can get VAC banned.
I mean,
or if the anti-cheat system is just gone nuts.
I just can't see the benefit of cheating in games. I mean, like, I'd rather just be good and get better, or be shit and get better, or just have fun.
I'm kind of half and half. Like, in an online multiplayer game, cheating is bad.
Yeah.
In a single player game,
GTA.
Yeah, like, who doesn't love going on, like, Hitman 2 on the PS2,
Okay.
God mode,
Right.
and super strength. So I just walk up to people, punch them, and they just turn into jibs.
Oh, Jesus.
And then when
Right.
they all start shooting me, I just go, bring it on. They don't look Cage-like.
Oh my God, right? But yeah,
And just-
white.
Except from, instead of being a big black guy, I'm a skinny white guy, yeah.
Yeah, basically.
And then just knock lumps out of everybody, just exploding people as I punch them. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, no, last time I cheated in the game was just back in PS2 days. But not PS3, was it? Like,
Well,
GTA.
Hitman was Silent Assassin. That was PS2.
Yeah, like San Andreas and stuff.
That would have been
Like
PS2.
summoning the tank and shit. And you're like,
Yep. Oh, the really cool one when you could do that. I can't remember which one it was, if it was San Andreas or 3, right? You could summon in the tank and go up a bridge.
Right.
If you had the turret facing backwards
No way. I
and
think I was gonna say.
repeatedly fired off the cannon, you could make the tank fly.
Wow. See, I like those kind of days where it's literally you could just do just like insane shit, and people who made the game were like, well, "This is not what it was made for fuck's sake."
Yeah, like the most recent game I cheated in
Oh, here we go.
was Final Fantasy VII Ultima Edition on the PC. This was about 4 or 5 years ago, maybe
How the
6.
fuck do you cheat in Final Fantasy games?
I got a save editor.
Uh-huh.
and I placed myself right at the end of the game,
Right.
and I had only Sephiroth in my team, just so I could watch the final battle of Sephiroth versus Sephiroth. For some reason, I decided that was a fantastic idea.
You geeky fuck.
Do you know what happened?
What?
And like the battle started and the game crashed.
Because it's like, no. You're not meant to be in that side. The fuck? No.
The game did not know what... Well, here's the thing though. Final Fantasy VII, when it was finished, they were like, right, let's take this and clean it up. They're like, no. We have to publish it now.
Yeah.
The code is Jenga.
Oh my... Really?
Yeah, the code is Jenga.
I didn't realise it was that dodgy.
That's why you get things happening, like, you've got the overflow glitch, where you can have like a certain combination of materia and certain weapons equipped at the same time. You can break the 99999 damage limit.
Seriously?
To the point where what comes up when you hit something is just gibberish. And if you use it on Emerald Weapon, like Under the Sea, when you've got the time limit,
Okay.
if you manage to kill it using this glitch, it freezes the game. Kills it. It doesn't account for the PlayStation lid being open.
Alright.
So if you open the PlayStation lid,
Yeah.
if you have regen on, it will stop the clock. It will stop the weight bars, but regen will still work.
Cheating fuck, man.
And it won't just like be every now and again like it usually is, where it pops up with a wee green number just randomly.
Yeah.
It's like a waterfall of green, and your health just spawns all the way right back to the start. Put the lid down and continue. It's mental. The code is Jenga.
I will admit, though, the fact you just said the lid brings back so many good memories. As PS1i. Oh,
yeah,
joys, man.
and the PS2 Slim.
So it had the lid as well?
Yep.
Oh my god, it just sounds so archaic, but so nice. Just remembering like how simple the console was. Just was it like on button, no open button, and just a lid, and that was it. Oh no, you pushed it down, didn't you?
Open, close.
Yeah.
Open.
Yeah.
And you push the thing closed.
Uh huh.
Power.
Yeah.
With a wee light next to it.
Yeah.
To tell you it was on, and a wee tiny button just next to the power button that just said reset.
Reset? Really?
Yeah, there was a reset button. So you didn't have to turn it off and back on if you were changing games.
Oh.
You would open the lid, hit reset, take your game out, put your new one in, close it down, and it would run. It would take you to a menu screen where you could either listen to music on a CD that you've put in, or
Jesus,
do the mess about with your memory card. But see, if you went into the CD player, then put a game in and closed the lid, you could listen to the music off the video game. You could listen to the music tracks on the disc.
Huh. Crazy.
Did you not know that?
No.
Wow.
Jesus.
Yeah, you could do that back in the day.
Oh, I feel so old just remembering all that shit.
Yeah, it does bring back good memories.
I find it kind of mental to think, like, I grew up playing the Sega, and now I've got to a point of, like, virtual gaming.
See, I was on the other side. I was Nintendo.
Well, I obviously had a Game Boy.
Yeah, I started on the NES.
Ah, weirdo.
Which is even older than the Game Boy.
Yeah. It just seems really mental to think we're like what was that, like Gen 2 gaming or something? Was that right? No, it wasn't original, was it? Was it Gen 3 or Gen 2?
I don't know. Hold on, I'll Google that.
So obviously it wasn't Gen 1, obviously, because that's like what, Commodore 64 type shit now?
Hold on, I shall check.
This is like gaming historian at work. Need to fact check everything.
Right, helps if I actually type correctly.
Wow, such concentration in his face.
Video game console. History. First gen was the Magnavox Odyssey.
Never heard of it. Okay.
Oh, it was mental.
Fuck up.
I remember the Magnavox.
Oh, sorry. Here we go.
Second gen was the Atari 2600
Okay.
and the Fairchild Video Entertainment System.
Right.
The Coleco Telstar. The Magnavox Odyssey 2. Then Television, the Atari 5200.
Fuck's sake. Right. Okay.
You also had the Microvision from Milton Bradley, which was kind of like the Game Boy.
Mm-hmm.
But Nintendo had their own one at the time called the Game & Watch.
Wow. Right.
Let's see. Then you had the Video Game Crash. Then the NES was Gen 3.
Okay.
The Master System from Sega.
Master System.
Which, yeah, it was called the Master System. Then you had the Mega Drive.
Okay. No.
Which was
Right.
after that. Yeah. So your third gen was the NES, the Mark III / Master System,
Mm-hmm.
the Atari 7800, and the Atari XEGS.
Mm-hmm.
You also had the Game Boy and the Atari Lynx,
Jesus Christ.
which were the handheld consoles at the time.
Right, before we close that, so what's the latest gen then?
I believe we're on the 8th gen.
Fucking hell.
Hold on. 5th gen was PS1, which also had the Apple Pippin. Oh man, I remember that, man.
No idea what you're talking about.
The Apple Pippin.
No idea.
Oh man, you've not lived till you've seen an Apple Pippin.
Good lord.
8th generation has the Wii U, the Xbox One, the PS4, the Nintendo Switch, the 3DS, the 2DS, the DSi, the
Alright.
PlayStation Vita.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, just the 3DS and the Vita even.
Yeah.
So we're currently in the 8th gen.
Jesus.
It's yeah,
We've came a long way.
came a long way considering the Magnavox Odyssey
Mm-hmm.
was one game, right, with a rotary paddle,
Okay.
2 of them, right? And do you remember Pong?
Oh god.
It had Pong on it, right? However, here's how it separated itself from Atari Pong, right?
Mm-hmm.
It came with clear overlays that you put on your TV screen, and then it became football, hockey, Pong, tennis, table tennis.
That's just cheating. I swear to God.
And believe it or not, Pong outsold it. And believe it or not, Pong was not actually the original video game.
Eh?
The original video game was called Table Tennis.
Oh, for fuck.
And do you know something? The only difference between that and Pong had a counter.
Oh, for my God.
It had a score counter, and that's the only difference between the two. It was just 2 white lines on a black background with a, with the square, which is meant to be a ball. That is it. That was literally the only difference between Pong and table tennis.
So did you manage to, remember the year that was out?
What year? What was out?
The first thing, the very first one? I'm just trying to find, how long it taken us to get from Gen 1 to now, and just the sheer...
Gen 1 was...
just a sheer jump we've had from gaming as we know it.
Right, the first video games appeared in the 1960s. They were played on massive computers connected to vector displays, not analog television.
Mm.
Ralph H. Baer conceived the idea of a home video game in 1951. And it wasn't until 1972 that the first proper home console was built and released, and it was called the Magnavox Odyssey.
Wow. Christ. We really have come a long way.
Yep. And like that, like we've gone from, essentially Pong to your 8-bit games, your Super Mario and Duck Hunt, Castlevania, Metroid, to your 16-bit era, which was like your Sega Mega Drive and the SNES, to your 32, 64-bit consoles like the Dreamcast and the Sega Saturn, the N64 and PS1, now to home consoles, which are essentially supercomputers back compared to back then, which are so high they don't even have bit counts. It's now all about polygons rather than bits.
That's just insane.
Where we can play SD, HD, Ultra HD, 4K. We can play in 360, 720, or 1080p, or 1080i. Where we're at that point where there's so much. We're so disconnected from video games back then, which were either really simple graphics or text-based.
Anyway.
Before that, Marc,
to
you were
these
immersive worlds.
Yeah, just the idea of
which
come 2072,
are only getting bigger
since an original game
and more
the
immersive
games console.
It's
just
really
mind-boggling
cool
to see how far we've come.
Yeah, definitely.
I mean, it's not even 2020 yet.
I'm liking the way it's going.
52
I
years
just hope
later,
that
and
we're getting more
kind of
stories.
worrying what we're gonna do.
Stuff
When the very first game, what you said, table tennis. Eventually, we'll rate Pong.
Games as service.
Now we've got literal headsets we wear to see virtual reality. I mean, that's only just starting. That's still in its infancy, I'd argue.
Yeah. It's really and VR is really kicking off as well, which is really cool. Because it's like, while it is still in its infancy, yes,
it's still.
Look at the games we've got for it.
Amazing.
Like some of the games, like Gran Turismo Sport, right?
Of course, you go for a racing game.
Well, no. Well, here's the thing. Like, there's loads of games out there for VR, right? But Gran Turismo Sport is, it's an established franchise, and then it's taken it's not taken VR as far as I thought it would do. Yeah. Because you can only use VR in time trial mode. Okay. You can't use it in your career mode or online or anything like that. Okay. But what you can do, right, is you can sit there with your wheel and pedals, if you play that way, and you put your VR headset on. So you're driving. Yeah. And instead of having to use the right stick to look around, you are in the driver's seat and you actually physically turn your head to look around.
I was going to wonder that, because I wasn't too sure if you turn the headset, is that you going to turn the fucking car and shit yourself? Like, no, turn the one car away, no.
But no, you turn your head and you turn, your field of vision moves in that way. So I think that's really cool. It makes it more immersive. I would love that to be a career mode thing, though. Star Trek Bridge Crew, that's a full story. Yeah. Where you play it in VR with 3 other people, as the bridge crew of a starship in the Star Trek universe. Yeah. You also have some other games. You've got L.A. Noire has a VR demo.
Seriously?
Yeah.
Wow.
And it looks so much fun. Surgeon Simulator, one of the funniest games to play, is VR. And in the VR version, you've got a Team Fortress 2 one, where you play as the medic and you're fixing the heavy.
Oh, Jesus, right.
And I think you can also do heart surgery on Donald Trump.
So basically purposely fail.
You either give him a heart of gold or a heart of stone.
Neither, just take it out and leave him like he came in.
You've got other fun games like Job Simulator.
Alright.
And Keep Talking and Nobody Explodes. That's a game where you disarm a bomb, but you know nothing about the bomb. Instead, you've got someone who's playing with you, who's not in VR, with a handbook, and they have to talk you through it. But they can't see the bomb. You've got to describe the bomb to them. Yeah. And they've got to tell you how to disarm it. However, every panel has 7 or 8 different variations. Oh, for fuck's sake. So you've got to be really clear, and so do they. Yeah. So while not every VR game is going to be like super immersive. Some of them are going to be really fun team building exercises. Some of them are going to be really fun time killers because not a lot of people can play VR for long periods of time. Some people can only put on a VR headset for about an hour before they get migraines. Some people could probably live in VR, you know?
Mm-hmm.
So it's really cool to see that we're getting different sizes of games for VR and seeing where that goes. So yeah, definitely.
I mean, I'm not gonna lie. Okay, have you ever watched Sword Art Online?
I've not, but I've played Sword Art Online Holofragments.
Yeah, so basically you get the premise.
I got the idea. Yeah.
And that is the kind of thing I can't wait for. It sounds mental, and yes, I'm a big anime nerd, but the idea of a fully immersive headset in which you actually feel like you're in the game, not just with a headset on playing a game, if you know what I mean.
I've had this discussion with Harry. I would not be up for it.
I would so be up for it.
VR headset, up for it.
Yeah.
See if we could find a way to get mocap going.
Oh, motion capture?
Yeah.
Okay.
In a video game, like, not like having mocap artists and all that, but I mean, like, have the full motion capture suit on and you play in that motion capture suit.
Okay.
With like some sort of platform that always move, like where you always stay still.
Yeah.
But you can run and walk, and it's got like balls underneath it that tracks which direction they're going in.
Yeah.
So you can it figures out which way you're running and things.
Mm-hmm.
I'd love that.
Yeah.
But I just the idea, like, because obviously the premise of Sword Art Online is they're locked in the game. They cannot get out. No,
that's in
I
season
can't
one.
do
You're going
that.
by the horror version.
I can't do that.
You can still log off and stuff when you're not trapped in it come season 1. I just think the premise is amazing. Literally, you just lie there, stick a headset on, and you're fully immersed in this world. It just seems insane. And honestly, I'm not even kidding, which is the most amazing part of the statement. I think that could be a possibility come like in like maybe 20, 30 years.
I think 20, 30 years is a bit optimistic.
Okay, put it this way, right?
I
do
from
see
the
PS1.
I see it happening in our lifetime, right?
Yeah.
I don't see it being at the point of our lifetime where we would realistically be safe to use it. I feel the same about hover cars.
Fuck hover cars. That's completely different. What the
doesn't
hell?
Matter. Hover cars. We will see plenty of concepts in our lifetime. We might even see a working concept in our lifetime. We will not see a production one in our lifetime.
Well, that's depressing considering people have lived and died thinking, oh, will we hover cars come 2000? No, or isn't.
Well, considering we were expecting hoverboards, hover cars in 2012.
To be fair, we do have hoverboards.
No, we don't have hoverboards. They call them hoverboards. They are not hoverboards.
Yeah.
Unless it looks like what Marty McFly had in Back to the Future,
That's so badass.
It's not a hoverboard.
The first one needs to be that colour scheme, though. Otherwise, you're going to be like, no.
Damn straight.
No, it needs to be pink. It needs to be bright, pink, and it just needs to look like a skateboard.
And it has to have, like, a line across it diagonally that says Mattel in the middle and bright yellow.
Is that what it says? Seriously?
That's what it says.
Oh,
it's made by Mattel in the game. In the movie.
Huh. Oh, man.
I can't believe you didn't know that.
It's been a while since I've watched it.
It's been a while since I've watched it.
Fucking nerd.
But I've always wanted a hoverboard so bad I can always remember it was made by Mattel.
Well, put it this way. Can you skateboard?
Not anymore.
Well, I've got a feeling a hoverboard might be a bit far for you, mate.
I used to be able to. And then I got kicked off of a skateboard. And I kind of fractured my tailbone.
You broke your ass.
And I don't know. I probably could still do it.
But you'd be holding your ass the entire time.
I
pillow tape to it, just no chance.
Like, you know how you get helmets for your heads?
Yeah.
I would need a specially built one for my ass.
Oh man, that's amazing.
No. Anyway, like we have gone off on such a long tangent.
Yeah, but it's necessary because it helps you in gaming historian.
I suppose so.
But hi,
I'm quite excited about the next bit of news though, and I really want to get onto it.
yeah, I'm not that interested.
I've been excited for Fallout 76 since we heard about it.
I was excited until I realised there's so much building in it.
There's not so much building in it though.
You don't point is you have to build a base.
No, it's not.
Yeah.
You don't have to build a base. You can build a base, and once you've built that base, that's with you forever.
No, it's not.
Yeah, it is.
It gets trashed.
It can get trashed.
It will get trashed.
But do you know what happens?
What?
It rebuilds itself.
Does it?
With the case.
Okay, you must have been researching more than me because I didn't realise that. I thought once it was fucked, you had to go and get more materials and build it again. I was like, ah.
But the beta for that launches in October. In order to become a beta tester, all you have to do is pre-order Fallout 76, locate the redemption code on the pre-order receipt or confirmation email, go to Bethesda's official site, log in or create an account, depending if you have the account or not, enter the code, and that's it. All you need to do. And you'll be able to play it. It'll download the beta. You'll need to download the beta onto your PS4, Xbox, or PC, depending on what platform you're playing it on, and play away as of October. That releases November 14th, and I'm all excited for it.
You literally did a happy dance.
I did a happy dance.
Good lord.
We have seen Wizards of the Coast have done crossovers of Magic the Gathering and Dungeons and Dragons, and they're doing another one, which starts November 20th, and it's this is Magic the Gathering returning to the plane of Ravnica, which is where D&D takes place.
Okay.
I'm not particularly big on Magic or D&D. I would love to be. The problem is I've not properly played D&D. I've seen people playing it. I've read, I've seen it in TV shows and stuff. But because I've not actually had a chance to play it myself, I've not had the chance. I've not made a proper decision on it. And the same with Magic the Gathering.
See, for me,
because I've not physically played it myself,
yeah.
I don't know.
Like for me, view there's different levels of geekdom, right? Not in a bad way, but in a more of a dedication.
Yeah.
And to be good at the card games, you need to be really dedicated, and I think that takes a level I don't have.
Yeah, I would love to be good at them, and I would love to play them, but I've not had the chance.
It's like tabletop games as well. I think it takes someone who's got just so much raw dedication to just chuck at it, to properly learn it and stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, I can barely get through a game of Pokemon. I mean, and I like Pokemon.
Yeah.
So it's mental.
I don't know. I think if you are into Magic the Gathering or D&D and want to get into the other one, this would probably be the perfect time to do it.
Oh, definitely.
While there's a crossover going on. Or if you want to get into one or the other.
Yeah, true.
While there's a crossover going on, you can
experience both. You
can really just experience both, yeah. So yeah, but like the problem is like right now, for me personally, right, is if I was to try and get into Magic the Gathering, I probably wouldn't stick to it because I'm currently working on getting to grips with the Final Fantasy TCG and getting back into the Pokemon TCG.
So in other words, dedication. You need to be able to just be like, right, this is my game. Like a whole rifle speech from Full Metal Jacket.
Yeah.
But it's a card game. I don't have that.
But yeah, no, they're both franchises I've really wanted to get into and just not had the chance, really, to be fair. Because I've never had anyone to play it with, so I've never had the chance to get into it.
Yeah,
that's been
I'm
it, really.
Not gonna be that guy. Nah.
I've got some retro console news up next.
Gaming historian.
The Commodore 64 Mini launched about 6 months ago over here. I'm actually, right, I was telling my sister this, right, I seen it in GeForce in Glasgow for about £40. I was like, I might get that for Sam.
All right.
Right. So I told her that, and she's like, why not get him into gaming early? Because I mean, he's what, 5 months old now.
Yeah, about right time, you know.
I mean, maybe a wee bit early, right? But the sooner the better, right? Right. See if I had the chance. Like, I've got my wheel and pedals for Formula One.
Yeah.
I would literally just do the pedals and just like let him steer if he could figure that out. I totally would do it.
He'll probably end up better than you.
More than likely.
Yup.
Well, we've got it all figured out. Yvette's going to nurture the love of games. Paz is going to teach him how to play the games. And I'm going to teach him all about the lore and the history behind the games.
Oh, so it'll be nap time.
Yes. You learn better when you're asleep anyway.
Oh, really?
That was my excuse in school.
Nah, it does sound like a cool idea.
You
You never know. You could end up being a pro gamer.
Yeah, well, this will launch in October in the US, the Commodore 64. So yeah, that's going to be really, really cool. The Commodore 64 was a fantastic console. It was one of the very first computer-based consoles, along with like the ZX Spectrum, where you didn't have to have a full computer. It was just the keyboard and the joystick, and that was the computer.
Huh.
So yeah, that was super cool. Really loved them. I would love to get a 64 Mini, but I do think I'd rather get the Nintendo and or Sega consoles first, because there was definitely more games on those that I liked.
Not gonna lie, I don't like no games from Sega. The rest of it's all
Comic Zone on Sega was amazing.
Comic Zone.
Comic Zone. Oh, I'll need to show you it later if I can find the disc. Because I've got Sega, the Sega Mega Drive.
Yeah.
I was trying to say Sega Mega Hard Drive there. I'm like, no, that's not right.
No.
The Sega Mega Drive Classics on PS3 has it on it. So if I can find that, I'll show you it at some point.
Sounds good.
NBA Playgrounds 2, remember I mentioned that got cancelled a couple of months back, and it was like a week before launch.
Yeah.
Well,
roughly.
that is definitely coming out. We don't know when, but it's now been picked up by 2K Sports. We just know it's going to come out this year, kind of about autumn, on all platforms.
Or fall if you're in America.
Yes.
The leaves all down.
MGS5 has had an update.
Yep.
And that allows you to play as quiet and FOB missions on like the online competitive mode.
Okay.
Which is super cool, although I would much rather it be in story mode, because I don't like playing competitive modes, really.
Aww.
I'm not good enough at them.
Nah, same. If I play an RPG, it's because I want to, roleplay, not play me, get my ass kicked.
I don't mind online games, like, because we've been playing The Division lately, and it's been really super fun.
Division is fun. Unless you go to Dark Zone and fuck the Dark Zone.
I kind of enjoyed the Dark Zone.
No, it was only fun when that dude helped us.
Yes.
Until then, we're like, we're dying. I know.
I was playing Call of Duty Black Ops 3 online private sessions.
Okay.
With a couple of folk. There were 6 of us in the lobby. We were playing things like gun game, search and destroy, team deathmatch, and stuff like that. And it was just so much fun. Team deathmatch. It was 3 on 3, and it was so much fun. Gun game obviously is every man for themselves.
Yeah.
It was fantastic. And then we played search and destroy for a while, and we took all 6 of us in one team against a team of 6 bots.
Okay.
And it was just hilarious.
Insanity.
We won against the bots. Like, we had them like on like the second hardest difficulty, because some of us aren't particularly good. So yeah, we had fun with it, and it was a laugh. Sega has a new game coming out. and it is an RPG for smartphones.
Ooh.
And it is the next installment of the Phantasy Star series. Now, I've only played one Phantasy Star game, and that was Phantasy Star Online on the Dreamcast. I never had a Dreamcast. My pal had a Dreamcast, and they had Phantasy Star Online. I tried it out, and it was pretty good. But this game is going to be called Idola Phantasy Star Saga, and it is coming to mobile devices in Japan later this year, and if it does well enough, it will get ported to Western devices as well.
Huh. Sounds different.
So, yeah, it should be good. I don't see why it wouldn't be.
Time will tell.
So, we've already, next bit of news, we spoke last fortnight, or was it the fortnight before, about Fallout New California, the mod, the new Vegas mod.
Possibly. Kind of blanking it, but makes sense.
Well, there is going to be yet another one, and this is for the PC version of Fallout 4.
Okay.
And it's going to be set in Miami. Now, there's no launch date. Obviously, it's going to be massive. It's going to be, another total conversion mod like New California. New story, new characters, everything.
Wow.
You're going to need to have, if you are getting it, you would need to have the Far Harbor and Nuka World DLCs. But we don't know if it is definitely coming. It's all because it's a big thing. Because Fallout New California, that's what 7 years that's been going, been built. So we don't know if this is just us finding out about it
just now, or
if this is them saying it's just starting. Mod makers launched the trailer yesterday. Not yesterday. It was yesterday when I wrote it, and I didn't think to put the date down. Last week, and are looking for volunteers familiar with the creation kit to join the project. So yeah, it'll be pretty cool. We'll see how well they do. Mod makers are allowed to work with, we'll talk about the creation kit for a minute. Bethesda Softworks never comes right out and says a mod is official or approved, but the studio does supply a robust suite of mod tools for Fallout and Elder Scrolls, and the point is for modders to use them.
Yeah.
So as long as mod makers work with the assets and don't corrupt anything Bethesda itself has made, or get the company in trouble with the content it doesn't own, so putting Mario into a company, they can make whatever mods they like. Big, small, expansive.
Jesus.
It's up to them.
That's pretty awesome.
So, yeah, it's going to be, I think it could be pretty cool. Because thinking about Miami, you've got Grand Theft Auto had Miami.
Yeah, so it might probably be a good few
that
nods.
Was Vice City. So, just remembering the carnage of GTA Vice City, I guess you're kind of excited for this. If you are, it means I would need to get Fallout for PC because I've got it for PS4. But
yeah, pass.
I would also need to get a better PC to play it on the PC.
Also pass.
So yeah, but no, I'm quite looking forward to checking that out as we get more updates and stuff for it.
Something to definitely check out.
See what happens. Nintendo Switch has now got the Wii Sports style game it's been missing since launch. Okay. When they launched the Wii, it was bundled with Wii Sports. When you got the Wii, the Wii Motion Plus adapter to the Wii, the Wiimote, they brought out Wii Sport Resort Plus.
Okay.
Which had a couple of extra games. And I'm pretty sure you had one on the Wii U. Well, Go Vacation was one that was on the Wii, and it's been ported to the Switch, and it's kind of like the sports game that the Switch needs, really. Like, because you've got some sports games there, but it's like NFL, NHL, FIFA.
Decent
Like,
ones.
we're talking things like this has things like inline skating, archery, fishing, darts, baseball. You know, it's got like a bunch of random sports built into one game. So we'll see. Nintendo Switch is also getting a GameCube style Smash Bros controller.
All right.
They look really good. I got to see some pictures of them as I was writing the article. You get 3 of them. One is Mario, red with Mario's M. As Legend of Zelda one, which is light blue, like his Breath of the Wild Champions tunic.
Ah, cool. Right.
With the Triforce and on it.
Mm-hmm.
And a Pikachu one, which is yellow with a silhouette of Pikachu.
The only one I'd get.
They're going to be made specifically for playing Smash Bros. Ultimate. However, they would be compatible with other games, obviously.
Yeah, naturally.
They're going to have swappable C-sticks, so they've got a kind of standardized, like the kind of standard way a analog stick is just now with a flat top.
Mm-hmm.
The original C-stick was just a kind of yellow bit that pointed up.
Ah, right, okay.
So you can change it to that, or you can have, a kind of standard one. It has been updated with a full-size twin analog scheme now. It's going to have a 10-foot USB cable, so you can stay connected and you can be comfortable.
10 foot.
10 foot.
Good Lord. That's a lot of cable.
Yep. There's no release date for the controller, but it should be released roughly about the same time as Smash Ultimate, which is December 7th. And for, obviously, Smash Ultimate is quite exciting because it's got every character that was ever in Smash, plus Daisy and Ridley.
That is pretty awesome.
So, yes, I remember watching a reaction video to it just after E3.
Oh, okay, right.
And someone went absolutely ballistic when they seen Snake was back. So funny.
Fuck, man.
Next bit. Do you remember Little Green Army Men? Hold on a sec. Wait a minute. Do you remember Little Green Army Men?
Yes.
Well, they're currently in Call of Duty World War II. They have the Days of Summer map pack, which has the sandbox map, where it is just Little Green Army Men in a kids sandbox.
That actually sounds epic as shit.
That runs until August 28th. It's adding some new weapons and summer-themed gear. But yeah, it looks fun. So, yeah.
That actually just sounds epic as hell. I kind of wish I had the game now. Good Lord.
I know you're excited for Spider-Man PS4.
Oh, God, yes.
Mary Jane Watson is going to be a playable character.
What?
Well, women are being more prominently featured within the Marvel universe just now.
As they should be.
However, they're not really getting top billing as much. I mean, with Ant-Man and the Wasp and Captain Marvel coming out, that is starting to change. But think the Sam Raimi trilogy.
Mm-hmm.
Mary Jane Watson was just a damsel in distress for most of it. Pretty much.
Yeah, but you could also argue that's kind of the whole character point of view.
Well, this takes place. The game takes place in the universe where Peter Parker goes straight to university, and Mary Jane Watson becomes the reporter at the Daily Bugle.
Right.
So when you play as her, she's you're taking pictures. You take your first mission as her. You take down Wilson Fisk, aka Kingpin.
So basically, fuck, She goes hardcore.
Yeah.
Right.
Like, I mean, you don't fight Wilson Fisk. It's like, taking pictures and collecting evidence and stuff. Doing an expose kind of thing.
So it's more of a stealth missions.
Yeah, it is stealth gameplay. She doesn't have any powers, so... I think it sounds really cool.
It does change the whole narrative as well, because obviously you're incorporating a lot more characters, a lot more viewpoints. So, for instance, if you get to see Spider-Man be a hero and you're not playing as him, it'd be kind of interesting as well.
Yeah.
It sounds very odd. But also, apparently, I've read as well that you get to play a lot as Peter Parker as well.
Yes, I've read that as well.
So it seems like you're going to get a very nuanced look at the web slinger for once. Instead of just playing out-and-out Spider-Man, it's now Peter Parker as Spider-Man. It's his life.
Yeah. I'm quite excited for it. It does look really good. I hope to see more of it.
I think there's actually new trailers out as well.
I think so. I haven't had a chance to catch it yet, though.
Alright. But from what I heard as well, there's like just tons of new costumes as well, which should be epic.
Yep. Sticking with games that are coming out in September, Spyro Reignited Trilogy is looking like it's going to be pretty good, with the exception of the fact that physical copies will only have the first game on the disc. Obviously, this is so they can keep working on it up until release day. Don't worry if you have pre-ordered it or are going to buy it. The second and third game are part of the game. It's just they'll be downloaded as a day one patch.
Yeah, so basically you're going to get it, but you only get one disc. Don't panic. It's meant to be that way.
The only thing is, if, say, you don't have internet,
then
it's probably not worth buying.
Yeah, you're kind of boned. You're getting game one.
Yeah.
End of.
So, yeah. That has been the news that I've got. Do you have any you wish to share?
Nah, man, I'm good. I've covered all my shit.
Good stuff?
Yeah. Damn.
Yes.
And the terror mark as usual.
Yep, as always.
So basically, if you made it to this point, you deserve a cookie.
In fact, I have a couple of extra ones I wish to share. I did say before we started recording, I have a couple I'm not going to dive deep into. I'm just going to kind of, quickly fire them off. If I remember to, I just remembered to there. One that Marc will be more excited about than myself is DC Ultimate Universe.
Oh, yeah.
DC Universe Online, that's what it's called.
Yeah.
They're getting some new characters patched in, and it's the characters from the current movies and the TV shows.
This will be like an Elseworlds type bit, so you get to meet like alternates of everyone. Should be pretty trippy.
Sticking with MMOs, one that's a bit more exciting for me is Star Trek Online is getting a patch which includes Star Trek Discovery, the Netflix series. I've not watched Star Trek Discovery yet.
Oh, mate, you should. Graphically, it's amazing.
But there's a reason for that.
Okay.
I decided I was going to sit down and binge watch it. But to get myself back into the Star Trek kind of mood...
You're not just having trying to rewatch all the previous seasons?
No.
Okay.
Just season 1 of Next Gen.
Oh, good lord.
Just that. And then I'm going to binge watch it. Also, I'm going to binge watch it with my dad.
Oh, that's nice.
Because he seen it, because they had an advert for it on Sci-Fi.
Yeah.
Even though you wouldn't be able to watch it on Sci-Fi. And he said it looked pretty good, so I'm going to watch it with him.
One thing I will warn you, episode 1 or 2, I think, it kind of starts off oddly. It doesn't. The pacing's not quite right.
Yeah,
but
I was told
it definitely does pick up, so don't get
that.
discouraged.
I have been told that the pacing at the start of the season is a bit awkward.
It's very confusing because like the rest of the show's on point.
But it's fine the rest of the way. So I have been told.
Okay,
I've seen snippets of it.
Yeah.
I've seen I used to go past someone who watched it and they were watching it as I walked by them in the house. So I'd seen kind of snippets here and there.
So yeah, don't get me wrong. It is from what I've seen, I've not watched all of it yet. It's one of those shows me and my folks kind of got into watching, then we kind of it's not a bad show. It's just literally you just need to be properly invested to get into it. Obviously you are, because you're a proper Trekkie.
I wouldn't say I'm a proper Trekkie, but I do play Star Trek Online. If I get PSVR, Star Trek Bridge Crew will be one of my first games, and I have Star Trek trading cards from the 80s.
Oh, it's painfully.
And I've seen all the movies. Well, except from the Kelvin Timeline ones.
The fact you know what it is makes you Trekkie.
I've seen 2 out of the 3 Kelvin Timeline ones. It's the latest one, Star Trek Beyond, I've not seen. Although it doesn't matter, because Voyage Home is my favourite anyway. That's the one where they take the Klingon bird of prey, go back in time, go to Earth. Chekhov stands looking at a police officer going, nuclear vessels. Nuclear vessels. In his Russian accent.
It's so painful to me that you don't think you're a Trekkie.
I'm not. I didn't say I'm not a Trekkie. I said I'm not that much of a Trekkie.
Oh, you're more of a Trekkie than you think.
Okay. I mean, I recently just changed the lanyard on my keys from Star Trek to Attack on Titan.
Why?
Why not? I switch them around every now and again. I also have a Hulk one and a Deadpool one.
That makes sense. Attack on Titan.
What's wrong with Attack on Titan?
Oh, good lord. So Walking Dead of TV shows, or sort of Walking Dead of anime.
I've only seen season 1 so far, though.
It's depressing. That's why I can't get into it.
I really enjoy
no point
it.
of getting into a show in which, like, there's any point liking this character when they could die in the next episode. Oh no, they just died. Never mind then.
Right, I'll give you a tip, right? Jean Kirstein, Armin, Mikasa, and Eren, they're not going to die at any point. I don't know. They probably all die in season 2, and I don't even know yet.
But this way, have you ever seen Gurren Lagann?
No.
Okay. Watch any of that, right? You'll think you know exactly who the main character is. You're wrong. That's how shocking that show is. Meanwhile, we're all watched, right? And if you've not seen this, spoilers, it's one of those kind of cool animes. It's just mental. But anyway, you're 100% positive this one character who just looks like a cool protagonist type is the protagonist. Like episode 8, he dies. So you're kind of sitting there going, what? When's he coming back? He doesn't come back. What? Then you're left with this little young kid who's like his protege kind of thing, and you're like, wait, oh no, you're the protagonist? Is that kind of thing? You're like, nah, man, nah.
But no, I forgot where I was going with that.
Yeah, you're Trekkie. That's it.
Anyway, a Trekkie implies that I only watch Star Trek and not Star Wars as well, or Stargate, or Battlestar.
Yeah, I think we're being massively off course and depressing people.
I don't actually watch Battlestar. I watch Stargate, Star Trek, and Star Wars. But yeah, no, that was a couple of extra ones I wanted to run through there. I'm pretty sure there were others I just can't remember.
Probably, yeah.
Anyway, we have been Gaming Kin. I have been Jack. This has been Mark.
I've been Mark.
And as always, we would like to hear back from you guys. If you have any suggestions of topics you would like to hear us talk about, leave them down in the comments on our YouTube.
As long as it's not about Jack being a Trekkie. Please God, no. Or croissants.
Or croissants. You can leave suggestions on our Twitter feed, on our Facebook, anywhere that's a Gaming Kin platform. You can leave suggestions there for us. We're always listening and keeping an eye out on them.
We're always listening.
Always. I think the next topic we're going to do is... I don't have a clue. The
next topic is I don't know.
I suggested one which was a cover article on Polygon.com, which was about the toxic toxic
masculinity in gaming.
Yes, regarding how some male gamers react to female gamers.
Right, is that just in terms of actual female gamers, or is that like female places in gaming narratives?
Female gamers.
Oh, okay, right.
So we don't know for sure if that's what we're going to do, but it seemed like an interesting topic to cover. Seems
like it's going to get deeper really quickly.
So we might do that. We might not.
Or we might like kind of cover it, but not go too deep because it might offend. Yeah, it's one of those weird things.
Well, we'll see what happens. But I thought that might be an interesting one to discuss.
Definitely is.
Especially considering a lot of that is psychology and sociology based, and that's two things I studied at college. So I definitely find that interesting.
Yeah.
But we'll see if any of you guys have suggestions for topics we could do. We will have a look into them as well. And we will be back in a fortnight with our usual service topic and
our
usual service.
Our usual brand of special geeky bullshit.
Yes. So yes, as always, I have been Jack. This has been Mark.
I've been Mark.
And thank you for listening to Gaming Kin. We will catch you soon. And remember, there's always room for you here at Gaming Kin if you want to be our friend.
Bye-bye.
Stay safe out there.
Stuck in the friend zone, I'm going home alone. You went home with another guy. Why do I even try? I think I'm out of luck. I'm just gonna give up. Take my ball and go home, 'cause I wanna be alone. I'm leaving. Last time, never coming back. I'm leaving. 'Cause this is not my place. I'm taking. Rising out of the pit. I can make out a small beam of light against a mirror. What's that? There's a jet of flame springing from the mirror and it leaps right at the advancing men. It strikes them head on. The logs are turning into flame. The whole field's caught by the woods, the barns, the gas tanks with the automobiles spreading everywhere. It's coming this way now, about 20 yards.